Fear of failure is a deeply ingrained emotion many of us carry, often unknowingly. It whispers doubts in our ears, chains us to inaction, and magnifies the consequences of taking risks. Imagine the dreams unfulfilled, the ambitions set aside, all because of one common fear, the fear of failing. But here's the truth. Failure is inevitable. It is an integral part of life, as natural as the sun rising and setting each day. Before diving deep, let's start by asking ourselves a question. Why does fear of failure hold so much power over us? To answer this, we must first understand the nature of failure and how our minds process it. Failure is not the enemy. It's a teacher cloaked in discomfort. As the Buddha wisely said, life is governed by 8 worldly conditions: pleasure and pain, praise and blame, gain and loss, fame and disrepute. These conditions constantly change, reminding us that life is dynamic and unpredictable. Failure fits into this cycle. It's impermanent, just like success. Yet, we resist it. Why? Because failure bruises our ego and challenges our self-image. When we fear failure, we aren't truly afraid of the event itself. We are afraid of what it says about us, our worth, our competence, and our future. Ironically, fearing failure increases the likelihood of failing. Think about it. When your mind is preoccupied with fear, your focus shifts from planning and problem-solving to self-doubt. For instance, students fearing an exam often procrastinate, only to cram last minute and underperform. Similarly, entrepreneurs fearing business failure hesitate to take bold steps, leading to stagnation or missed opportunities. Fear clouds judgment and narrows perspective, preventing us from seizing opportunities. It's like driving with the handbrake on. Progress is painfully slow, and the journey feels exhausting. The Buddha himself encountered failure. During his quest for enlightenment, he spent 6 years pursuing rigorous self-mortification, believing it would lead to awakening. Yet, despite his extreme efforts, enlightenment remained out of reach. Did he give up? No. Instead, he reflected, adjusted his approach, and embraced the middle way, balancing effort and moderation. This pivotal moment teaches us that failure isn't the end. It's a detour, guiding us toward better paths. Like the Buddha, we must learn to view failure as feedback, not a verdict. Here's an empowering perspective. Fear can be an ally. How? By using it as a motivator to prepare and improve. When fear arises, instead of succumbing to it, channel it into action. For example, if you fear failing an exam, let that fear drive you to create a study schedule and practice diligently. If you fear a business venture failing, use that fear to conduct market research, refine your business model, and anticipate challenges. Fear sharpens awareness, prompting us to plan better and act smarter. One of the Buddha's profound teachings is the middle way, not indulging in extremes, but finding balance. This applies to our expectations. Unrealistically high expectations can set us up for disappointment, while excessively low ones limit our potential. For instance, instead of thinking, "I must be the best," think, "I will do my best." Instead of fearing, "I'm not good enough," affirm, "I can improve and grow." This shift in mindset reduces fear and fosters resilience. Consider Thomas Edison, who famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Each failure brought him closer to inventing the light bulb. Similarly, J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. What if these individuals had let fear of failure dictate their actions? Take a moment to reflect on your own life. What dreams or goals have you abandoned due to fear of failure? Imagine revisiting those dreams with a new mindset, viewing failure not as a threat but as a guide. If you found this perspective helpful, consider joining us on this journey of self-discovery by subscribing to our channel, Buddhism in Modern Life. Together, we explore timeless teachings and their relevance in today's world. Failure is a part of life, not a reflection of your worth. It is a stepping stone, not a stumbling block. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it guide you toward growth. Remember, the Buddha himself faced failure yet achieved enlightenment by adjusting his approach. As we delve deeper in the next part, We'll explore practical strategies to overcome fear, build resilience, and pursue your goals with confidence. Stay tuned, and let's continue this journey together. In the previous section, we explored how fear of failure can hold us back, why it arises, and how even the Buddha faced and overcame failures during his journey to enlightenment. Now, it's time to shift our focus toward actionable strategies. How do we confront this fear head-on? How can we turn failure into a powerful ally on the road to success? If the fear of failure has ever kept you awake at night, frozen your decisions, or made you doubt your worth, this part of the discussion will provide practical guidance and inspiration to move forward with confidence and clarity. 1. Embrace failure as a teacher. One of the most profound lessons we can learn from Buddhism is the impermanence of all things, including failure. It's not a permanent state. It's an experience, a fleeting moment that offers an opportunity to learn. Think about the life of a child learning to walk. Every stumble, every fall, is met with another attempt. The child doesn't internalize failure as a personal flaw. It's simply part of the process. Similarly, we must adopt this mindset. Whenever you encounter failure, ask yourself, 1. What lesson can I learn from this? 2. What will I do differently next time? 3. How can this experience make me stronger? For instance, imagine you applied for a job and didn't get it. Instead of viewing it as a personal shortcoming, reframe it. This is a chance to improve my interview skills and explore other opportunities better aligned with my strengths. 2. Cultivate self-awareness. Fear of failure often stems from our inner critic, the voice that amplifies doubts and magnifies mistakes. To quiet this voice, self-awareness is key. Mindfulness, a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, helps us observe our thoughts without judgment. By practicing mindfulness, we can identify fear-based patterns and detach from them. Try this simple exercise. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. When fearful thoughts arise, acknowledge them without clinging to them. Say to yourself, "This is just a thought, not my reality." Over time, this practice reduces the power of fear and creates mental clarity. Consider the story of Sarah, a young entrepreneur who feared pitching her business idea. Through mindfulness, she recognized that her fear stemmed from a fear of rejection. By addressing this root cause, she reframed rejection as feedback and gained the courage to pitch her idea, eventually securing funding. 3. Set realistic and actionable goals. One reason fear of failure looms large is because we set unrealistic expectations for ourselves. When the gap between our goals and reality is too wide, fear fills the void. To overcome this, break down large goals into smaller, achievable steps. For example, a big goal: write a book. Step 1. Draft an outline. Step 2. Write 500 words a day. Step 3. Revise one chapter at a time. Each small step completed builds confidence, reducing fear and creating momentum. Remember the Buddha's teaching on the middle way: avoid extremes. It's good to aim high, but balance ambition with realistic self-acceptance. Celebrate progress rather than perfection. 4. Build resilience through failure. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, and it is one of the most powerful antidotes to fear. How do we build it? Instead of labeling failure as bad, see it as a feedback loop. What didn't work? Why? How can you adjust? The Buddha did exactly this when he abandoned self-mortification, realizing it wasn't the path to enlightenment. Adopt the belief that skills and intelligence can be developed through effort and persistence. This perspective makes failure feel less threatening and more like a natural part of growth. John, an aspiring artist, submitted his work to 10 galleries and faced rejection from all. Instead of giving up, he asked for feedback, improved his technique, and kept refining his art. On his 15th attempt, he succeeded, launching a career that might never have started if he'd stopped at rejection. 5. Create a supportive environment. Fear of failure can feel isolating, but you don't have to face it alone. Surround yourself with people who encourage growth and provide constructive feedback. A mentor who has navigated similar challenges can offer guidance, perspective, and reassurance. Their stories of overcoming failure will remind you that you're not alone. Whether it's a study group, professional network, or online forum. Connecting with like-minded individuals provides motivation and accountability. For instance, many people find support in communities focused on mindfulness and personal growth, like our channel Buddhism in Modern Life. 6. Practice detachment. In Buddhism, attachment to outcomes is a major source of suffering. When we become overly attached to success, failure feels devastating. By practicing detachment, we can pursue goals with determination while accepting whatever outcome arises. Focus on the process rather than the result. For example, if you're studying for an exam, concentrate on mastering the material rather than obsessing over the grade. If you're launching a project, enjoy the creative process rather than fixating on immediate success. Detachment doesn't mean apathy. It means giving your best effort without letting the outcome define your worth. 7. Take action despite fear. The simplest yet hardest way to overcome fear of failure is to act. Fear thrives in inaction. The longer you wait, the bigger the fear grows. When fear holds you back, count down from 5 and take immediate action. This disrupts overthinking and propels you forward. Emily wanted to start a blog but feared negative feedback. She used the 5-second rule to publish her first post. While the response wasn't perfect, she received valuable feedback that helped her improve, and she gained confidence with each new post. As we implement these strategies, it's important to reflect on the lessons failure teaches us. Humility. Failure reminds us we're human, fostering compassion for ourselves and others. Patience. It teaches us that growth takes time and perseverance. Innovation. Failure pushes us to think creatively and explore new solutions. If this discussion resonates with you, consider subscribing to our channel, Buddhism in Modern Life, where we delve deeper into these topics and share insights on navigating life's challenges with wisdom and compassion. Overcoming fear of failure is not about eliminating fear entirely. It's about learning to coexist with it, understanding its roots, and using it as fuel for growth. By embracing failure as a teacher, cultivating self-awareness, setting actionable goals, and building resilience, we can transform fear into a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. In the next part, we'll wrap up this journey by exploring inspiring real-world examples, summarizing key takeaways, and providing a final call to action to help you embrace life's uncertainties with courage and wisdom. Stay tuned for the conclusion. As we've explored in the previous sections, fear of failure is a universal experience, one that can either paralyze us or propel us forward. By understanding the nature of fear and equipping ourselves with practical tools, we can shift our relationship with failure from dread to growth. Now, in this final part, we'll dive deeper into real-life examples of individuals who turned failure into success, summarize the key lessons learned, and conclude with a powerful message of hope and action. Thomas Edison, the light bulb that almost didn't happen. Thomas Edison is often quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Before inventing the light bulb, Edison faced countless setbacks. Each failure taught him what not to do, ultimately leading to one of the most revolutionary inventions in history. Edison's story reminds us that persistence is key. Imagine if he had stopped after 100, 1,000, or even 9,000 failed attempts. Success often lies just beyond the point where most people give up. J.K. Rowling. From rejection to bestseller. Before becoming one of the world's most beloved authors, J.K. Rowling faced immense rejection. She was a struggling single mother who submitted her manuscript for Harry Potter to 12 publishers, all of whom turned her down. Instead of letting failure define her, she believed in her story and kept going. Today, her books have sold over 500 million copies and inspired generations. The Buddha. Failure on the path to enlightenment. As we've discussed earlier, even the Buddha faced failure on his journey. When self-mortification and extreme asceticism didn't lead to enlightenment, he abandoned those methods and sought the middle way. His willingness to adapt and learn from failure ultimately led to his awakening, a lesson that resonates across time. These stories illustrate a profound truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of it. Failure is inevitable, and that's okay. Everyone experiences failure, from the most successful inventors to the wisest spiritual teachers. Accepting this fact liberates us from the illusion of perfection. Fear amplifies failure. The more we fear failure, the more likely we are to fail. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. By addressing fear through mindfulness, planning, and action, we break free from this cycle. Moderate expectations lead to balance. The middle way, as taught by the Buddha, is crucial. Setting expectations too high leads to pressure and burnout, while setting them too low prevents growth. Strive for a balanced approach. Resilience is built through experience. Failure teaches patience, humility, and adaptability. Each setback strengthens our ability to face future challenges. Success requires action despite fear. Fear will never fully disappear, but it doesn't have to control us. Taking small, consistent steps forward builds confidence and reduces fear's power. Possible strategies to build a fearless future. Practice gratitude for failure. When failure strikes, pause to reflect on what it has given you, or a new perspective, a chance to reassess your goals, or a reminder of your resilience. Write down 3 things you've learned from your most recent failure. This practice shifts your mindset from negativity to growth. Create a failure resume. Instead of listing your achievements, create a resume of your failures. Jobs you didn't get, projects that didn't work, risks that didn't pay off. Beside each failure, write what you learned. This exercise normalizes failure and highlights its role in your growth. Visualize the worst-case scenario. One technique to reduce fear is to confront it head-on. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen if I fail? Often, you'll realize that the worst-case scenario is manageable and far less catastrophic than your fear suggests. For example, a fear. If I fail this exam, my life will be over. A reality. If I fail, I can retake the exam or explore other opportunities. Celebrate effort, not just success. Shift your focus from outcomes to effort. Celebrate the courage it takes to try, regardless of the result. This mindset fosters resilience and reduces the sting of failure. As we conclude this journey, let's remember that fear of failure is not an enemy to be defeated, but a companion on the path to growth. The goal isn't to eliminate fear, but to learn from it, work with it, and transform it into a source of strength. Start where you are. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to act. Begin with small steps. Set one realistic goal for the week. But take one action that pushes you slightly outside your comfort zone. Or reflect on what you learned, no matter the outcome. Connect with a supportive community. Facing fear is easier when you're not alone. Join like-minded individuals who share your journey. This could be friends, mentors, or even an online community. If you're looking for inspiration and guidance, subscribe to our channel, Buddhism in Modern Life. Together, we explore practical wisdom to navigate life's challenges with courage and compassion. Remember your why. When fear arises, remind yourself of your purpose. Why are you pursuing this goal? What impact will it have on your life and others? Your why provides the motivation to keep going, even when fear tries to hold you back. Failure is a gift in disguise. It humbles us, teaches us patience, and prepares us for greater challenges ahead. It shows us who we are and what we're capable of when we refuse to give up. As the Buddha said, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. Fear of failure often arises when we're stuck in the past or fixated on the future. By grounding ourselves in the present and taking one step at a time, we can move forward with clarity and courage. So, the next time fear whispers in your ear, remember this. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of something greater. Thank you for joining us on this journey. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Buddhism in Modern Life. Together, let's embrace life's challenges with open hearts and fearless minds. Namaste.